The answer is take the win and run. I get hung up on certain things. I have OCD, Jake.
I mean, hi guys, my name's Jeff. I'm an equal opportunity lover. You guys know that.
But wouldn't the dog want to stay on the meat wagon?
You say you can convince the dog to hop off.
That's insane.
Yeah, I'm intelligent.
That's such a Jeff answer right there.
He's handsome, curly-haired, and Jewish, sitting right here.
Jeff, you are a golden retriever.
Hey, Jake, that's what you kids call that drip, right?
It was good despite the gastric consequences, but call me the crystal ball here, man. I'm getting everything right except my own picks. That's really, to me, a battle of two of the coaches with the best hair.
Welcome to the E Show, presented by the Hockey Podcast Network. Founded in 2013, the EHL is your next step on the path to college. Over the past decade, the EHL has established itself as the college placement leader on the East Coast. And now, here's your host, the commissioner of the Eastern Hockey League, Neil Ravin.
Thanks, Jim. With that, let's bring in Jake and Jeff. Jeff, I have a great story to kick off this week's podcast.
Do you now?
Yes. I am jumping ahead to fantasy, and we'll get to the sports book and all that stuff later. But we're
not doing Ravin's rants right now, are we?
No. Ravin's rants, okay. I think I kind of went off in the group the other day, so I don't need to say much. But we'll see.
I'd like you to say more.
Anyways, I was watching golf on Sunday. Naturally, that's what I do, right? And I was like, you know what? Let's put a little bit of the money that I've won recently on the line, and I built this like 7-leg parlay, including the tournament winner. So I was like, if I get the tournament winner, like I'll start to look at the cash out as each game goes. But like they were like all like the favorites in hockey that night, right? So like I was like, if I get the tournament winner, like and hockey plays out the way that it should, you know, like I may hit this, right? So like one after the next, they all hit until the last game is still going, and it's Islanders versus Stars. And the Stars have taken the lead, but the Islanders are all over them. So I text the Basile brothers thinking I need help right now, okay? And I go, I need immediate assistance from the Basile brothers. I'm assuming one of you is watching the Islanders. Nothing. And I'm like, guys, like, then about 20 minutes later, I'm on a date, LOL, from Mikey. The LOL put me over the edge because like you're on a date and you pull the phone out and you let me know.
Hold on, my buddy Neil's texting me. I know this. I know you don't know Neil Ravin, but
I mean, technically, I would say I was too. I was with Coach Kyle, so pretty close.
Do you know what you said to my text? Remember what you said?
No.
I am not watching the Islanders.
Okay.
Like, guys, I need your help right now.
Just
and you're not there.
Nope.
Was
Mikey actually on a date?
Yes, he was. And it actually went very well for him, he said. So
look at that.
Maybe there's a second date.
Mikey.
But
well, if it's not what you're trying to get out of just tips.
I ended up cashing out, made a nice little, payday that night. Could have been more, I guess, if I let it ride because I actually had the Stars over the Islanders. But
I actually bet on that game too, and the Stars won.
Yes,
that was part of
and the Stars were up for a while, and then there was actually a goal called back for the Islanders that would have tied it. That's when I hit panic and I just cashed out, right? But just like the sequence of like, guys, like I literally need your help right now because you're probably watching this game and you could tell me like if the Islanders are like all over them, and then there's just nothing,
Sorry, Kamish.
Oops.
But it worked out, and that's not a Ravin's rant by any means. But now we're warmed up. We can jump into the podcast now with Around the E Show.
Let's take a look at what's going on around the E Show.
Of course, we're getting closer and closer now to the Philly showcase, guys. This one always feels like in the distance, but then it arrives and it's like, oh my God, we have 58 games in 4 days. Like,
miss you guys.
Yeah, I was just to say, I'm not happy that you're not going to be there.
I know. I'm sorry.
But there's going to be a lot of shenanigans, a lot of tomfoolery. I'm excited.
Are your sneakers ready?
Yeah, they're ready, dude.
No dress shoes at all that week?
Have you broken them in yet?
They're broken in.
Okay. I'm just picturing like Jake yelling parkour and like grabbing his sneaker while jumping off over a step.
Like I'm like a 6 out of 10 on the athletic scale. So it like there are gonna be some moments that are not good.
Just don't blow an ACL. Who's gonna be our trainer down there? Should we introduce you guys right away?
We have multiple trainers, but like, are any of the players aware of what you will have on your feet?
Miles kid.
Oh, wait a minute. That's right. I forgot we talked about this months ago.
Yeah,
Can I
these
even
are-
say it? Is this a
you can
surprise?
say
This
it.
is
You can say it.
the
I'm getting, no, I'm
Heelys.
getting,
You got the
I'm getting,
Heelys?
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I got Heelys, yeah.
He's getting Heelys, folks.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty sick.
Can you
These
picture
ones
him?
light up.
They light up, yeah, dude.
Oh my god.
$40.
I'm gonna be so jealous, but I mean, I'm gonna be in Aruba with the wife for like 4 days, so
Oh,
Damn, dude.
I'll text
I'd
you
rather
guys some
be in-
pictures.
I'd rather be in
when are you doing that?
We're leaving Saturday, coming back Thursday. Had to move some stuff around. It was like a last minute vacation.
Wow.
Are you telling us right now that you can't come on the podcast next week?
No, I'll be there. No, it's I'm leaving on the Saturday the 8th. Saturday the
Oh,
8th.
so okay. We're uncovering a lot here, Jake. That's why he can't come to the showcase.
Yeah.
We thought he was busy working up here.
I did too.
This is
Yeah.
personal time now.
Wow.
Originally, yeah, I had to move some things around. This kind of sprung on us a little bit, so
So you're gonna be in Aruba with the missus.
I'll fill you in on some. Yeah, I'll fill you guys in.
Nice. I'm gonna be at an
Yeah,
ice
for
rink with Zach Spacuzza, so I think I'm winning, to be honest, but whatever.
Well, I will say this: the timing does work out great then for the next podcast after that, which will be a playoff preview. So,
Monday the 17th.
To Jeff's credit, he has really mapped this out well. So
I got it.
But with those playoffs right around the corner, and obviously the showcase coming up, guys, we know every EHL team plays 46 games, right? So again, never do math live on the podcast, but this is relatively easy math on the podcast, right? So each team has a certain number of games left before the showcase kicks in, right? So Avalanche have 40 games. Every team plays 3 games of the showcase, so they have 3 games and then the 3 showcase games. So the theme of this week's podcast is, because it's going to be different for everyone, what does each team need to do before leaving for Philly? And let's start with the Avs, who have a record of 33-3-4, which, again, we've laughed numerous times. Chris will laugh one more time. You have no overtime losses before shootout losses, so we'll just all giggle together. Ha 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 ha. Because it drives him nuts that we even talk about it, right?
Really? Oh,
yeah.
dude, the littlest things bother him. I don't get it.
Yes. But anyways, 70
Lord.
points, 1 point behind the Express right now. And we talked about that could be a matchup that's for the regular season title. But is the message before Philly as simple as get 1 point, lock in number 1 for the North, and at least be done with that before heading down to Philly?
It's because that's probably one of their many, preseason benchmarks they like to hit, right? Is win the division, win the league, win the championship. So you want to finish with the highest possible standing as possible. So yeah, I would say that's definitely one of the bigger things for them. But I'd say another big thing is stay healthy, right? Like keep all these guys not in bubble wrap per se, but like, hey, I mean, if some huge guy on another team is trying to line up, Ben Carrefour or Danny Starella or, some of these important guys, Jake Hines, maybe, walk away, say, hey, yeah, thanks for everything. And then kind of take a walk to the bench and don't be throwing bows and stuff. But, and then kind of Gerard and Seagrave, see who's going to start game 1. They both have 15 wins.
Yeah, it's a good question. I think he's leaning Gerard.
Yeah.
Well, the second year guy,
yeah. Good guess.
But you never know.
Third year guy if you count the premier too.
True. Good point, Jake.
Alex Gerard is
both in their age out years, so
yeah.
For me, beat the Wolves. Simple as that. Beat the Wolves in the game in Laconia. Exercise the demons there. You might be going there for a playoff game if you guys both advance past the first round. So get used to beating the Wolves in Laconia.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh, Andrew Trimble just turned that one up again in the locker room. Third time this year that he's used a Jake's outfit. Hey, boys.
Motivator of the Wolves, Jake Basile. right?
I love the Wolves. I
Yeah.
I get this bad rap. Like my favorite person in the world is on the Wolves.
Print it.
And your second favorite person in the world is an alum of the Wolves. Like they mean a lot in your life.
I know. I do, look at I have a Wolves blanket like right here.
Oh my god.
Not planned. Anyone? Not planned.
No.
Bunch of good people. Andrew Trimble, Tim Hughes. I think actually the Wolves were the first team to send me a jersey when we started the podcast forever ago, Neil.
Wow.
They sent me one of the old. It's an actual game jersey. Thing's like a dress on me.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. Let's go to the Wolves next because I think we can assume the Avalanche have one more point coming at some point, right? So, so for the Wolves, you have 6 games left. You, in theory, you can't catch the Avs. The team behind you in Vermont only has 4 games left. They can't catch you. So you're in pencil, gonna be penned soon, locked into 2. So how do you view these 6 games? But sorry, let's start 3 before the showcase, and then you can kind of talk showcase too if you want to.
I talked to Coach Kuhns yesterday, and he was saying how like it's kind of difficult when you're locked into your spot so early to kind of get in that playoff mindset. And before yesterday's game, which was an incredible game, like one of the most high-level games I've seen this season, Lucas Bukatovs was amazing. So that's another thing, like figuring out their starting goalie. Like I love Reardon, but oh my God, what did Bukatovs just prove yesterday? Yeah. But they were 5-5 in their 10 in their last 10 before that. They had a 15-1 stretch before that, so they definitely have gone away from their identity a little bit in the new year. So I think get the goals against down, get Harry Kramer hot again, and figure out who your starting goal.
The wild thing too is Reardon has not had the success in the playoffs that you would want him to, right? He's been great in the regular season for the Wolves, but and maybe that's a reflection of the team too, right? It's not always the goaltender. The goaltender's the one that gets the easy blame, but it's not always on them. But yeah, I mean, how can you argue with Lucas Bukatovs winning 1-0 in a shutout against arguably one of the best points-wise, second best team in the league right now in the Express? Mm-hmm. That's a very manly-like performance from Lucas Bukatovs. But both are age-outs, so I mean, even though Bukatovs is a rookie, both are age-outs. Cam Reardon's got the veteran. I don't know. That's Timmy Hughes. That's why they pay him the big bucks. You make that decision, but
yeah,
like Jake said too. I mean, Kramer's got to get hot again, and they just got to they can play spoiler too, right? You got the little Flyers on your schedule. You want to flex your muscles against the Bears a little bit. Really good team in the South you haven't seen this year, so. Yeah, I mean, they just got to keep doing Wolves things.
For sure, for sure. So then wrap up the North kind of with the same feeling for those 2 teams, for the next 2 teams, right? Vermont locked into 3, Valley locked into 4. Vermont won 6 straight now, guys. I mean,
they got hot, huh?
Are they the scariest team or sleeper team in this North Division now?
I mean, it's gonna be tough. If the Wolves and Avs were in their division, maybe. I think they're gonna give somebody a fight, but I don't know. Between the Wolves and Avalanche, just 2 juggernauts of teams. But Colton Lawrence, Gavin Bernston, old friend of Jake Basile. A lot of old friends over there for you, Jakey. Duquette. Oh, you're muted.
I'm muted. I have friends everywhere, but yeah. Wolves and Avs, Wolves and Jacks split their season series. I actually think the Wolves went 3-2-1. I mean, the Jacks went 3-2-1, so they actually got more points than the Wolves in that season series. So that could go either way, and it's hard to play as the road team in both those buildings.
Yeah, and then for Valley guys, knowing you're in now, but you're locked into 4, and you're preparing for the Avs, who they did give a hard time to last year's postseason series, if you remember correctly. How do you look at this final stretch? Just start to click things in the right direction so that you're firing on your best cylinders when that postseason series comes around?
Yeah, I think so.
I'd say so.
Yeah, just inconsistency has been their biggest problem all season. I mean, they started the season, one of their first games, they beat the New Hampshire Avalanche. And, they just haven't had a win quite like that since. And in the couple years that I've been in the league, Valley has been below 500, but they've picked off some huge wins against really good teams. They shut out the Express last year. They defeated the Avalanche in a great game back at the Newington Showcase in my first season 2 years ago. So I just think like they haven't had one of those this season. If they could do it against a Wolves or an 87s down the stretch here, that would be, massive for Valley.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let's look at their last 6 games or so. A lot of really, really close. They're already playing playoff type like games. Beating the Dukes 1-0, lose to the Avs 2-1, lose to the Seahawks 2-1, 3-2 losses, one in overtime to the Lumberjacks. So they're already getting used to that playoff hockey type atmosphere, low scoring, play defense. But goal scoring's been really hard for them. So they got to kind of figure that out and start putting more pucks in the net. But just gotta get that confidence up a little bit.
Shift to the East and kick off with the Express, who I mentioned play the Avalanche in the Showcase, could be for the regular season title. They haven't technically clinched the division yet. The Wizards have 5 games left, so they can get to 72 points. The Express obviously hold the tiebreaker, having only lost once to the Wizards. So again, just like we said for the Avs, you feel like 1 point is coming here for the Express at some point. So they have the 1 seed in theory locked up, but knowing history here with Walpole and being so close over the last few seasons to getting back to the Frozen Finals, what do they have to do down the stretch this season to make sure that when March rolls around, they can kind of break through that glass wall, if you will, that's blocked them out the last few years?
Start this one. You're the voice of all things Express. Heartbeat.
I mean, it's no secret they have not been as consistent in the new year as they were in the 2024 portion of the season. The bulk of their losses have come in the last, I want to say 16, 17 games. They've lost 7 games in the new year now. That's, it's not bad. They're well above 500. They're getting points in those games, a lot of them, but they're just not winning at the rate they were. So, Coach Koda calls it the give a blank meter. It comes out of your butt, the thing that he's talking about.
And I love that, Jake.
And he wants to see more of that. They need to have more full 60s. And yesterday was a playoff style game, and the Express played a really good game against them. Lucas Bukatovs was just excellent. So I think yesterday was actually a step in the right direction, despite not getting 2 points.
Yeah.
I think this is good. I think honestly, if you're a hockey team, junior hockey team that is with this type of schedule, I think this is the best time to go through some adversity, right? Like they were so hot that you don't really want to stay on a pace like that going into the playoffs. You want to hit some bumps. You want to have some guys kind of jarring at each other, and then you can come out. Good teams will come out of it and come on the other side of it, and they'll remember that when they're making a long playoff run. So I think for Coach Code and the Express, I think this kind of batch of losses here in the second half, honestly, is not a bad thing. I don't think it's time to hit the panic button at all. I think it's a good thing, and they're learning some stuff about themselves.
For sure. For the Wizards, we touched on this in a previous episode. Just getting the monkey off their back with a win over the Express, right? Who had been undefeated against them this season. Like the Wolves, they're locked into 2. But they see a Seahawks team behind them that I know can't catch them. But that Seahawks team is as hot as anybody right now in the EHL. So if you're the Wizards, are you looking over your shoulder in a sense of like, that's who we're going to face in the first round, and we need to start playing our best hockey to be ready for that? Or what's your mindset with that team lurking behind you?
The team that's got a lot of veteran guys. I mean, you got some rookies there too, like O'Keefe and Roy, and but I mean Daxton St. Hilaire, Joey Alla, JJ Alger, guy that's been on a few teams here in the EHL. Like you're gonna have to lean on those guys, and I feel like they're a confident bunch, like more confident this year than they've ever been. It seems like they're pretty tight knit, just from like posts they make on social media and stuff, and I think you just kind of have to focus on what you've done all year, which is just keep winning at the rate you are, and just kind of believe in yourselves. And I don't know, it's kind of cliche, but sometimes like some teams, I feel like you don't really have to reinvent the wheel. Just kind of keep doing what you're doing and believe in your systems.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be a little worried about the Seahawks, man. Nobody wants to go through the Cape to get to the next round. They'll beat you up. You know what I mean?
Right?
If you beat them, they're taking a couple bodies with them, man. They're rough and tumble, but yeah, I mean the way they've been steaming along, they beat the Wizards in a recent game. Seahawks beat the Express in a recent game. So like they're doing what they need to do. Wizards are playing a lot of tight games lately. Had a couple really good wins over the Wolves, who handed them a loss back at the Showcase in December. So it's it's been, a jockeying match, right? You said they can't catch them, but I think Seahawks are more than capable of doing it against any team in that division in a 3-game series. But
Yeah.
the Wizards' high-powered offense, right? Isaac from the Seahawks is going to have to be good. If it's Cade Chapman, he'll have to be good. So, either way, it's a gauntlet. You're going to be battle tested, like you said, Neil, when you come out of the East.
Yeah, for sure.
Usually though, two teams that really are like licking their chops to get to the Frozen Finals. Seahawks have never been. Wizards haven't been since, geez, Freddie Meyer.
What year was it? What year was that?
Man, because Corey was an assistant coach. I remember talking. I can see it right now. Freddie, Corey, Schneider Arena, 2017?
2019.
2019. Damn.
Yeah, 2018-19 season. So
been a minute.
Been a minute.
And the Seahawks
right?
have been licking their chops. Zamboni them. They want to go out on Federal Hill. They want to get some Italian food and hang out with us down there.
I think that would be a lock for them to join us for the staff dinner the night before.
They better. That would be like a mandatory invitation.
I think they would want to be a part of that for sure.
I'd say so.
We kind of just touched on the Seahawks there, so I'm not skipping them, but we kind of talked about both at once, like a sandwich.
Yeah.
So we'll move on to the Eagles, who at the moment, guys, are going in the wrong direction. I mean, they're probably, I'm going to say this, I'm going to eat my words possibly. They have enough of a lead over the Bandits that they should be okay. Right? They have a 10-point lead. The Bandits have 6 games left, max of 12 points. So Bandits can get to 37. Eagles are at 35. You would think the Eagles do have one more win in there, but like, I guess with each loss, does the stick tighten a little bit harder in the hands of the Eagles here if the Bandits can get hot down the stretch?
Yeah, because that's a very young team. I mean, just look at the amount of rookies that they have when you pull up their roster. Riley Van Handsome, as Jake would call him. One of the true veterans on that team.
Close enough.
Sorry, Jake. But yeah, I mean, that's a team. Look, you got Ian Moran. I think Ian played the most NHL games out of any of our coaches here in the EHL. Combined, yeah. He played a long time. I was trying to be nicer to a lot of our coaches, Neil, but so Jeff, that was Neil that said that, not me.
No one will ever say that you're not a nice teddy bear golden retriever.
You're a chill guy.
I know.
Yeah.
You are a chill guy.
I laugh at our intro every time now when I hear you say that. Jeff, you are a golden retriever. I know. It's in my blood.
You are my dog Nash. Go on.
Yep. Everybody loves Nashy. But no, in all seriousness, like these rookies, they gotta listen to Ian Moran, and they gotta kind of lock in and lean on the few veterans like Riley Van Son, and just get out of the dregs and just kind of lock in.
Yeah, they did not like my flightless birds comment a couple weeks ago. They did not appreciate being called like a seagull, I think I said. They can fly, but they look goofy, right? But I mean, like they actually played a really good game against the Express the other day. It was their best effort against the number 1 team in the East. They have a recent win over the Seahawks, but yeah, just the consistency in the team game has not been 100% there for them throughout the season. I feel like it was more in the beginning of the year. So if they recapture that, they were really good at the October showcase. So, why not do the same thing here in March. And, I may have said you guys need your wings again, but it's not because I'm not pulling for you guys. I'm pulling for everyone here, especially you, Riley Vanson.
And it's not like
that's a good point too, because the Eagles' offense has been up and down though. Like like you said, Jake, like you lose 2-1 to the Expressio day before that, you put up 4 against the Wolves. I mean, you got to get consistent there.
And it's not like they have to win a game in order to get in, right? Every loss for the Bandits is also a win in a sense for them in order of clinching that spot, right? So for the Eagles, though, down the stretch, it's not easy. They have the Wizards today, then the Seahawks, then the Express, then Vermont, then Valley, then the Express.
That's the toughest remaining schedule left.
It's not an easy schedule, right?
No.
For the Bandits, they have Nor'easter today, Rhode Island, Dukes, Huntsman, Philly Hockey Club, Avalanche. So it would take the Bandits to probably go at a minimum. I can't even say minimum. They have to go 6-0. They have to win all 6 games, really, in order to kind of make sure they get in. And if you know that as a coach, I know this is a tough question. How do you just take it one game at a time, knowing that even if you do that, it may mean nothing if the Eagles get their 3 points down the stretch?
Talking about Coach Drevich, another one of our favorites. Yeah.
Jake should probably kick off this one also because of his love.
I'd say so.
Yeah, we're best friends. But listen, the Bandits, I think they won 2 games in their March slate last year. Just play hockey. Just play hockey at this point, right? Like,
lock it up. You got another veteran leader right there, Coach Drevich.
Yeah, it's
played a lot of hockey.
Ben Diaz is on my parents' fantasy team. Think about that, Ben, as you kind of round out the season here, right? Mom,
show Steve, do it for
kind of need you, Benner. But I mean, just enjoy 6 games of junior hockey.
Yeah, for sure. That sends us to the Central Division, and similar, but maybe even further along than the North. These teams are basically slotted into their spots. Providence, the first team to actually clinch the division and the number 1 seed in the EHL this season. So, historically, that's been the Avs the last few years, right?
Guys, can I just remind us the very first podcast I
knew this was coming.
Was going to be a really good team this year.
I knew this was coming.
Yeah,
here we go.
Yeah,
JKP boys, come on, that's a good prediction right there.
Well, listen, you got the chance to take in some preseason action.
Yes.
And to your credit, you use that to your advantage, which is great.
I synthesized and I hypothesized and I executed.
Yeah. Now, I have created next season's preseason media days for the sole reason of being able to now go against you and KP.
Wow. So it's not for the players. It's for you.
It's for both, but I get some extra benefit from it as well, right?
Fair.
This podcast, so that I can then say the same things you said, because we will admit Jake did call it. So they have clinched the number 1 seed with 5 games remaining still. What could they be playing for as number 1? If they win the division, you can be the home team in 2 of the 3 games in the regional final. I know all that means is you get the last change, but if you're the Capitals, is that valuable if you win the Central and you face the South Division champion in Trinity? Is having the last change important?
So when you got a few of the top guys in our entire league in points, and Kroon, Kelly, Radich, we talked about last week. Radich or Radic, Jake? Did I screw that one up?
It is Aiden Radic.
Okay.
Sorry.
Jeff, don't worry about it. I called them Pionk or whatever I did. Poink.
Yeah, Poink? Yeah.
I mean, every time I bring it up, Jake laughs. Like, one of these points, Jake,
it's
the
hilarious.
Joke won't be funny anymore, okay? It was like a month ago.
It's the noise. Poink. Like, as I'm choosing.
It is fitting.
Like, I drop a deuce and I hear that noise. Like, that's why it's good.
Whoa. Anywho, yes, going back to your question as we get off the rails here to the Providence Capitals having last change.
Myself.
Yeah, right. I think it is a big deal in all seriousness. When you got Kroon and Kelly well over 60 points, or Kelly right at it, Radic. This is a deep team. You have 14 guys with 10 points or more. So yeah, they're definitely going to want to play matchups and play a lot of those, bigger veteran guys against Southern teams if they get to Trinity for sure.
For Rhode Island, next in-state rival, I think different from the Wolves and the Avs. I think we know who's starting for them in goal in their first playoff game. Committed to, we have to say this too, the number one team in the country, Curry College, right?
That sounds good, doesn't it?
Good on you, Ryan.
Good for Coach Roundy and the gang, eh?
Yeah, pretty damn cool. We played that team in the college series a few years ago. So, but we know who they're starting in that game. So being locked into 2, James Mello, fellow or former goalie, do you have to pace your starting netminder down the stretch here? He's already committed.
Yeah, he might a little bit. I mean, looking at the matchups, right? You got Warriors, Bandits, Seahawks, Apple Core, Bears, Seahawks. So, yeah, I mean, I might just for the sake of you got a lot of teams playing for a lot of stuff there, and you don't want all it takes is one guy crashing the crease and taking Rhodes out, and that being, don't even want to go there, but that being an absolute nightmare for Coach Mel. So yeah, I think, and with Ellsbury being a really solid backup, I think it would be good to continue to get him some work down the stretch too, just in case, knock on wood, you never know, and might need a backup. But yeah, I think you definitely have to kind of curtail Rhodes's workload down the stretch for sure.
Yeah, I second that completely. I would like to see more of Ellsbury too. I think he's a super capable goaltender, and he proved that last year. But honestly, and I say this, knowing that I'm going to Cadillac Ice Arena later today, Ryan Rhodes could give Alex Koenig a run for his money as far as the best goalie in this league goes. They are, for me, 1 and 2, and I don't know who's number 1 and I don't know who's number 2.
It's hard to judge Rhodes. Rhodes, people look at Rhodes' record and see 11-7-3, but look at the goals against, 218, save percentage, the biggest thing for a goalie, 942. It's insane.
Racked at Fortnite. Yeah, he's good.
For the 2, we just covered the 2 Rhode Island teams, right? Now we'll cover the 2 Connecticut teams who are locked into their spots in 3 and 4. So for the Nor'easter, for the Rough Riders, knowing you're going on the road to kick off your first round series, is it as simple as just make sure both of you are peaking at the right time here down the stretch as well?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, for 2 teams, like you said, they're you're stuck where you are. They both have been kind of on roller coasters. Nor'easter started to win a couple recently. Same with the Rough Riders, but yeah, you want to kind of start to get into a rhythm here and start to push guys' confidence meters up and get those boots moving quick, get the brains sharp, and get those moving quick as well.
Yeah, maybe for the Nor'easter, stay out of the penalty box a little bit. There's been a little bit of drama down in Simsbury. But
they love Pims.
Oh, yeah, no, I said it a little while ago. They feel like the Eagles of the Central to me. Man, the Eagles are the Nor'easter of the East. Just gotta, the consistency has not been there all season long. And, for the Nor'easter, they won back-to-back since. I think, they play a physical brand of hockey, and that's the kind of hockey they're going to bring to the postseason. So I think that'll play to them a bit, but I don't know. They got to find that team game too.
For sure. I saved the South, and as they would say, the best, for last because it's the most compelling race. We could say that, right? So we'll look at it in 2 different tiers, right? So at the top, Bears and 87s, same number of games played, 41 and 41. Bears with the 1-point lead over the 87s. I couldn't even tell you who has the tiebreaker. They've played each other so many times, and I feel like it's an even split. So personal requests, don't finish tied. So I don't have to do that math, guys. But for those 2 teams, looking at 2 games left each and then the showcase, and I've asked you this question before, how hard are we pushing for the number 1 seed in the division down the stretch, as opposed to Jeff, the whole rest versus rust thing, potentially resting some guys? Because obviously they're in. They're 1 and 2, but how important is this number 1 seed?
How far are those rigs from each other, travel-wise?
Ooh. Let me get maps going here for a second.
Let's do it.
Anthony's look up his answer for us in a heartbeat.
Wait, India.
He would also tell us every single mode or way of transportation that you could get there other than a car. Like he can tell you what
he's like our
train route
dad's,
to take and
right?
whatnot. What
Give
was
you the
that?
old directions.
Yes.
I was gonna ask, what is the first tiebreaker is head to head?
First tiebreaker is head-to-head points.
Points. We got 87s win 4-3, 87s win 5-4. That's 2 wins.
Yeah, but like are there overtime points and all that? You gotta that's the thing.
Right. Current season. Yeah, 87s are 4-2. Jersey's 2-3-0-1. So that would be
87s
points.
have the tiebreaker then, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
They are an hour and 1 minute apart. I'm gonna say an hour, okay? Because if Jake's driving, that minute's not happening. So it's an hour apart. 60 miles. It's close.
Right. So you're not gonna get your bus legs.
Jake's like, if you were driving, it would take us an hour and 10 minutes.
I'm retired. I am retired from fast driving.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did something happen?
Yeah.
Speeding ticket?
Johnny Law came a coming.
You got a speeding ticket?
No, I got let off with a warning. I said to the cop, dude, I'm not gonna lie, I was just blasting George straight, and I lost where I was at. And he was like, "All right," and he just gave me a written warning, so not bad.
Oh my god!
Of
were
course,
you in Mass, Long Island. Where were you?
Well, of course,
I was driving to Laconia, New Hampshire.
Yeah, jeez. And of course, he probably the cop was also listening to George straight. So Jake's
dude, that's
good.
what I surmised as well. Yeah, no, and like I was driving home from the Cape one day, and a couple of the express guys were like, "Dude, you drive too fast." So I'm retired. It's over with. I'm not that guy anymore.
All right then.
You're not that guy, pal. Anyways, back to like.
Oh yeah, back to the Jersey teams. Hey, Jersey teams.
Do you want to be the number 1 seed?
Doesn't I don't even know if it matters at this point. I really don't.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Did we ask Coley about this in his interview? I don't know if we did.
I think he's more just focused on
that stuff.
Yeah, I think he's more just focused on being a Trinity alum and getting back there.
Yeah, I agree.
But then we'll shift to the last 3 teams in that division because, as I mentioned, this is really the most compelling race of them all heading towards the showcase. The Philly Hockey Club right now in 3rd place, 41 games, 45 points. Pennsylvania Huntsmen in 4th place, 41 games, 43 points. Little Flyers, they have the game in hand over those 2 teams, but have 37, so they trail the Huntsmen by 6, and they trail the Philly Hockey Club by 8. One request. Don't finish with a 3-way tie. Okay?
Oh boy, let's see. I'm gonna miss seeing Neil get the pencils out at the showcase. Wait a minute.
That would be head-to-head points in the games against each other, which is just like you need a whiteboard. You gotta have people double checking as you go, and I could just like we've never had to go down that path before, Jeff. But I could just picture ourselves like in this back room in Aston, and everyone's looking at you while you do the math, and I'm just like sweating, and I just don't want to do that.
You got that camera for the owners meetings. You might be whipping that out because there might be some people from afar that actually I would like to tune into that if that happens as well.
It's got like the 360 view, so everyone in the room can see what's going on exactly.
Does it?
I
don't want this to happen. Sorry, buddy.
Oh, jeez. I understand from your perspective, it would be kind of fun, and from maybe some fan perspective, it would be fun as well.
As commissioner, not so much.
Not so much.
Nope.
And I have heard this from the South teams. Okay, this is not coming out of my mouth, my head, but people are saying the Little Flyers have the toughest schedule remaining and the most points to gain.
Let's pull it up.
So
they're the team that's most battle tested. Has been
Philly Hockey Club
frozen finals
is in 3rd place. They have the 2-point lead over the Huntsmen, 8 points over the Little Flyers. They face the Little Flyers tomorrow. Then they face the Huntsmen Saturday. And then they get Dukes, Bandits, Capitals at the showcase. Huntsmen, their next game is that Saturday game against PHC. Then they play Tuesday against the Apple Corps. And then they have Bandits, Dukes, Seahawks. Little Flyers, 3 games.
I just pulled it up.
3 games before the showcase. Bears, Philly Hockey Club 87s, and then Capitals, Wolves, Rough Riders. So if you go based off of records, what I'm being told by the South is correct. little
the underdogs in 5 out of 6 of those. The Rough Riders game, I think, is the only game they're really favored in. So yeah,
I think they like to be the underdogs, though.
True.
Yeah.
Alo,
Coach
I do want to say this, and I hope he's okay with me saying this. I spoke to Ryan Arendes 2 days ago, and he wants the 87s in the first round.
Ooh.
He says he wants to put Alexander Legkov to bed early. So that is, I mean, the most dangerous forward in the league, Alexander Legkov. I don't blame him.
Yeah.
Right. Ryan Arendes, no slouch though. He's a top 5 guy in the league, but yeah, no, the Huntsman, he said they're trending in the right direction right now. They're very much in contention to play the 87s too. So it'll be wild.
Yeah. So again, Huntsman play PHC Saturday. That's you can actually call it the back end of a home and home, but the home and home began yesterday, Wednesday. So it's a Wednesday, Saturday home and home. Just a few days in between, I guess you could say. But going to be an awesome race to see if the Little Flyers can take care of business in 2 of 3, or maybe even 3 of 3 games before the showcase. It would make it get really interesting when we get to their home rink.
Would it take pressure off or would it put pressure on, though? It's kind of both.
Rest versus rust. Rest versus rust. Hey. Who knows?
You love it. You love it. You love it.
I'm not. It's gonna feel like we're skipping the EHLP, but we do have to jump to fantasy. We'll dive more into the P next week when we have the showcase preview. But we have to get to fantasy now because I didn't realize this, Jeff. It isn't just the Basile family locked into fantasy. You got to call it Basiles and Friends.
Friends and family.
Now it's time for the E-Show Fantasy Challenge. Follow along on the EHL app. Available now for free on both Apple iOS and Android.
It might not feel like it, but spring's right around the corner. Now you can tell. Golfers are hitting the links, and we have some tournaments to talk about. And if you want to do more than just talk, put your money where your mouth is. Get in on all the tee to green action with DraftKings Sportsbook. From Thursday's opening round through the closing round Sunday, DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered with tournament props, live betting, odds boosts, and so much more. If you've never been on golf before, that would be me, actually. It's easier than you think. Gonna have to talk to Neil. Just pick something simple like a golfer to win the tourney and make your pick. It's just that easy. Here's something special for first timers. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN. That's code THPN for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Do you have a gambling problem? If so, you can call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, you can call 877-8-HOPENY or text HOPENY, which is 467-369. In Connecticut, help is also available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino Resort in Kansas. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction, so you can avoid that. If you're in Ontario, new customers only. Bonus bets do expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
If anyone is wondering if Jeff reads the ad read before he reads it on the podcast, the answer is no, because I love how you were like, there was like some surprise in that ad read for you.
Yeah. That's what I like. You know? I've read enough copy at this point in my career.
I'm actually watching golf right now too, just so everyone knows.
Oh my god!
Because there's a tournament that started today. I live for Thursday mornings. I know what Jason is saying, because your kids go to daycare. That's part of it. Yes, daycare.
And Dad can watch a
little. And we have the podcast going, and I put the golf on. Like, look at. Here we go.
Your email humming, your phone going, you're answering texts from Chris Sorella.
That's a great shot. I have in my lineup this week. Like we move on. We move on. But I mentioned leading up to this, Basile family and friends as a part of fantasy.
God bless.
What did you say?
God bless.
How many entries are you guys responsible for?
TBD.
So
we taking over
the friend that is leading fantasy right now.
Yeah.
Can you tell?
He is Jewish, yes.
That's
not where you're going.
That was not where I was going.
Oh,
we love that though. Yep. That's great
for the tribe. But
L'chaim.
Mikey's best friend.
That's Mikey's childhood best friend. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, they pushed the swings.
So Matt Gerber has Declan Kelly, Jackson Hansen, and Alex Koenig. I mean, this may be the lineup, guys.
That would be wild.
Like, They have he has 100.
He's an avid EHL watcher.
And
How many
4
games does he
straight
watch?
players after that, and then 2 more Jewish people. This is pretty sick. This is a good leaderboard.
So for those that can't see the standings, it's Matt Gerberg is in first place. Then, as Jake mentioned, players Kyan Klee, Cooper Krusketh, Daniel Kroon, Emmanuel Gomez, and then Jewish people, Harris Eisenberg. Yep. And then Jake's brother Mikey.
He says.
But just to go over some of the play, I just mentioned who Matt has and Kelly, Hansen, Koenig. We covered this last week, guys. We realized that Klee had picked 2 forwards, so we addressed it. He has subbed out a forward for a D who has 0 points for him, and he's still in second place.
He's flexing. He goes, "Yeah, F you guys. I got
so
this."
So between Caden Jacobs and Cam Wickens, he has 97.6 points. So he added Keegan Lozier in here. I mean, if he gets 10 points down the stretch, I would say Kai is still the favorite here.
Yeah. So, and
has to be.
I think Koenig's only getting 1 more game.
Ooh, that is somewhat.
Jake, breaking fantasy news. Wow.
I need Jake on the side of the highway, like Kevin Weeks with the video and the.
Yeah. Weeksy does a good job, dude.
But like, don't pull over on the side of the highway right now because I guess you're driving safer nowadays.
Hell yeah, dude.
We don't need to like someone to come up to you and be like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, no. I'm following the rules of the road now.
Yeah.
No more drinking and driving.
Oh my god.
So just to recap some of the other players that have gone off, we touched on the duo that is Bradley Parker and Cole Davidson previously. Davidson up to 57 points in fantasy right now. Parker at 60. So again, thank God we have only 1 forward, 1 D, 1 goalie, because if you could pick both of them, you would just run away with this whole thing, right? To cover some other players that have had great months so far, just keep with the Express. Lode Arts, 31 points. Dalton Roberto, 19 points. Daniel Kroon from Providence, 41 points. Daxton St. Hilaire, compared to last month, probably seems like a light month for him, but he has 25 points so far. Lakoff, as mentioned earlier, he has 48. Cam Plum, every month is in the 30s or 40s, guys, right? He has 38 points. So we knew this would be a big month with it being extended kind of February into March, but the race for this last ticket into the round of champions is awesome so far.
See you guys. The weather's pretty good down in 41st place.
I was just scrolling to see where you were. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're like, where's Jeff? Keep going.
I have a 100% increase. I was at 36. I'm now at 18. It's not bad.
Yeah, I'm happy for you, Jake. I need your spirits up.
Oh my god!
After last month was crushing.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah,
you know what's
then I got crushed a month before. It's been a couple of rough months for the Ukraine fantasy.
Honestly, Jeff, since that top 5 finish for you, I mean that took the wind out of your sails for the whole season. Which I'm sorry.
It's deflating. Yeah, I know. Like I said, I want to fire my general manager and start over. Yeah. I thought about it.
And you already did the DraftKings ad read, so we don't need to pivot to DraftKings again.
I'm already there, buddy. I've been living there.
They talked about golf. Listen, I'm watching golf right now. If you want to talk about it, okay, we can have that conversation.
I think I'm too late to jump in.
No, there's so many tournaments.
You can jump in during the
day. Every week's a new week. So
after you're done talking to Chris Sorrell for an hour, I'm gonna have to call you for an hour.
But speaking of weeks, we have one more week leading up to the showcase. So we're gonna pick some final games to watch before Philly and what to watch for.
And now here's what to watch for in the EHL and the EHLP.
So I will kick this off. As I mentioned, every team kind of has a different remaining schedule, if you will, down the stretch here up until the start of the showcase. And as I like to do on numerous occasions on this podcast, I like to cheat. So for the Little Flyers, their 3 remaining regular season games before the showcase are what I'm watching for, because if they can win 2 of the 3 or 3 of the 3, it's going to make the showcase that much more compelling to try and see who gets in and who's out in that South Division.
I like it. I mean, why don't I go with my Huntsmen, who are dangerously close to the Little Flyers? They get a couple of games this week. They got to play the Apple Core on Tuesday before the showcase. So, yeah, come on, Zacho. You got to play the Philly Hockey Club before that, actually, too. Sorry, Saturday, March 1st, as I'm moving my calendars from February to March. That's the annoying thing. February is so short, and we start games. We still got like a couple of games at the end of February here.
Listen,
but come on, Huntsman, antler up.
The month of February just wants to get to myself and Mikey's birthdays faster. That's all it is. Anyways.
No, I didn't know you guys were that close.
I didn't know either, but now
like you're the same.
But now
week.
I feel closer to Mikey as a friend.
Mikey.
So
what am I doing?
I don't know what he just said in the background.
Jake was
you don't want to know. I had to mute it quick.
Good.
Yeah, no, I was like a Western with how fast I pulled the trigger on the mute button. Valley schedule is pretty tough. He's still laughing in the background right now. They play Avs, they play Wolves, and I'll just go with just watching the Valley Junior Warriors.
It's the Warriors.
We'll wrap it up with a P game to watch leading up until the showcase. I'll pick the easy one right in front of me today. Seahawks versus Providence, right? Two teams battling for first place in that East Division, and they meet up once again down on the Cape. Drive slow on your way to and from.
Well, Jason on the call for Express Warriors. We just gave Warriors some love. That seems like a great game, though, because with the Express, I love those interviews. Colby Strunk becoming a household name, joining you, Jake. So go Express. Keep moving. Keep moving up those East Division standings.
Is that the game you're going with? I thought you said you weren't going with.
Yeah. Oh. Well, I was hoping you were going to be on the call for it. Then I saw it was in Gilmartin Arena, but go Express P.
Oh, man. I will go with Avs Wolves then on Sunday.
I wonder why.
Yeah. Okay. All right, dude. Maybe it's because I love the North Division in the EHLP. It is the best division in the EHLP. But I also think the Wolves captain's a pretty talented player. We don't really talk about him all that much, but Zach Spaku's a pretty good player, and it'll be fun to watch him play in Philadelphia. But first, he's got the Avs.
I need you to, and this is the topic for next week's podcast, recreate last year's Philly picture.
Oh.
It was you and AJ. This year it's you and Zach.
Okay, done.
Wear the same. You have to wear the same suit, tie, everything though.
Okay. Done.
Okay, that's easy. Same spot, just plug in a new.
It was like in like the middle rink. I remember.
I know exactly where you took the picture. I think I took the picture.
Yeah, maybe.
I think I did. One more podcast before that big showcase. So some key points on the line this upcoming week. Trying to get in the right position before heading down to Philadelphia. As always, if you can't make it in person to watch these games, they're live on Flow Hockey. Last few times I've tuned in to watch Jake on Flow Hockey, it's been an overtime winner each and every time. So you never know what you're going to get. We'll talk to you guys next week.
Thanks for listening to The E Show, presented by the Hockey Podcast Network. Learn more about us at easternhockeyleague.org. And follow us on all of your favorite social media platforms. Also, be sure to subscribe and get notified when our next podcast episode is released.